we're going to turn it over for the demonstration by txtsmarter.
Good morning, Rich. Thank you for having us. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. So, hello from California. Nuri Otis here. I'm the CEO and founder of txtsmarter. txtsmarter is effective compliance in the new age of text and social media communication. Every Fortune 5000 company has an email and voice backup, yet they have an incomplete compliance solution, and zero have an integrated mobile messaging archive solution that adheres to regulations and prevents data leaks and ensures clean audits. txtsmarter is changing the compliance landscape, and I'm here to tell you how. Text and social media interaction is skyrocketing as a result of COVID. As a matter of fact, I just got forwarded an article about one of the largest banks in the world and how they're dealing with it. And the need to fill this gaping hole in compliance programs is becoming critical for both companies and regulators. Each week, we speak with the chief compliance officers of large banks, insurance companies, and other multinational financial services organizations. And where archiving messaging data was a long-term objective 6 months ago, today it has become the top discussion topic each week. And when I say that as an exact quote from the chief compliance officer of one of the largest money managers in the world. txtsmarter is introducing an effective compliance solution specifically designed for the new age of text and social media messaging. Designed from line one of code with security and privacy as our pillars. Our software as a service platform creates a better user experience for employees and clients by allowing the use of native messaging applications such as iMessage, WhatsApp, and many others, while creating a data completeness and a high level of control over archived data. What that means to you is no data gaps. Coupled with a monitoring platform, the data enables effective monitoring and immediate identification of inappropriate sales and customer communications, fraud, front running, and meets a wide range of business and compliance needs. And while you think today about what we're doing, realize that over 50% of the world's population is on social media. And there are 6 trillion messages sent per day. Today, txtsmarter is introducing an effective compliance solution specifically, sorry, I'm going to go back. I went back. Messaging use continues to grow, a pattern that has continued for over a decade and shows no signs of slowing down. Messaging has eclipsed both email and phone calls as the primary form of communication. And you'll all realize that emails and phone calls have been recorded for nearly 30 years. Yet it was not possible to back up the over 6 trillion iMessages sent yesterday until now with txtsmarter. What we provide is a full communications data vision under a single lens. Financial regulators require firms to take control of their data. We offer a broad range of regulatory compliance solutions with our comprehensive service, consolidating and analyzing communications data to identify early warning signals of unwanted behaviors. Before this whole COVID thing started in March, we met with the people at the FCA in London, and they indicated their immediate need to start looking at people from an audit perspective for this type of data. And to quote another friend in London, he said that this is a train that's coming down the track and people have 2 choices. They can either get on the train or they can get hit by it. So now we're going to give you the demo. Do I just press play here? I guess I do. Okay. How do I go back? There we go. Okay. So here's the best part. Activating txtsmarter could not be easier. The user will receive a message, either an iMessage, an SMS, an email, with a link to activate txtsmarter with an access number individually set for that particular user. The link will take you to another page asking you to use the access code to sign in. You then copy and paste the code, and you receive a message that you have no connected platforms. You connect the platforms. Once activated, no user interaction is necessary. This is a permission-based process, and it assures customers that they are compliant with privacy regulations such as GDPR and CCPA. The next screen Okay, it's not moving. I don't see it moving forward. My apologies. I'll just keep going. The next screen, we should be at the screen that has all the lines at the top. Shows the total records logged for a user in a specific month. It's the next screen that's on there. Please note that if you look at this specific user, I'm sorry everybody, I didn't have a chance to practice this part ahead of time. You'll see a significant growth in messaging data that began as COVID began in March. In April, the CEO of Verizon mentioned that there was a 1,200% growth in usage of data. So this is where things get exciting. What any compliance officer needs is the ability to reconstruct all conversations, meaning communications or activity with regards to a specific matter. This information includes all non-oral methods of communication. However, it can be expanded to also include emails, calendar invites, and normally archived data associated with financial services. It can also include trades traded, orders, and counterparties traded. It has all the necessary tools to identify, investigate, and resolve all matters regarding compliance. We'll now go back to our deck. The images that you see represent an email, a calendar invitation, iMessage, and a WhatsApp message. If you consider that without txtsmarter, your view is partial at best, you should be very concerned. The real conversations that should concern you happen on messaging, and almost daily, that last sentence is proven in spades. The exciting part of this is if a compliance officer were to simply see an email, there may not be any indication of incorrect behavior. It's only when all communications are put together under a single lens does the poor behavior become clear. A 360-degree view is necessary for full context. We cannot cover all the details today. However, we would like to speak to you. So we've decided to make you an offer. If you send an email to the email address you see in front of us, we will give you, your company, a 20-person one-year license, which is a $7,000 value. Simply email compliance@txtsmarter.com and we'll get the process started.
Thank you, Nuri. We're going to let that be, sorry, we're just running. I just want to make sure we can get the judges in. So 10 seconds. And then if you can finish up, we'll get the judges with a couple questions.
Okay. Every firm is now work from home. This is happening now. These problems exist in every high compliance reporting industry. It's happening on your watch. As a compliance officer or regulator, you should be very scared. And I ask you a simple question. Is your house in order and are you able to sleep at night? We'd love to talk to you.
All right, thank you very much. Allison, is your house in order? We'd let you be the lead judge here.
question. I certainly understand being able to flag comments or words that are direct non-compliance, right? But how deep is your NLP? How does it catch words where folks were intentionally trying to get around compliance flags or using slang or in other languages or just English? How are you getting around that type of aspect of this compliance need?
We pick up almost every language. It's nearly 50. And we do pick up emojis, we pick up memes, we pick up links, we pick up pretty much everything. And our back end utilizes a machine learning and AI process. So it's constantly iterating and growing.
Got it. Okay. And I guess how are you detecting if employees are communicating in methods that aren't approved by the firm? Right. I think that there's a lot of big institutions that have very strong protocols around what formats BYOD or corporate issued type of communication methodologies, right, or Blackberries, et cetera. In those that organizations aren't using kind of pre-registered and allow employees to use various methods of communications, how are you bridging that hurdle to bring it into the compliance ecosystem?
Oh, part of the problem is that a customer of ours will need to have a very deliberate employee relationship document, and it needs to delineate clearly that if they do use a personal device, that the company will not cover them for anything that's a problem. Yesterday, there was an article in Bloomberg where a 35-year city veteran lost their job because they used WhatsApp. And it's a horrible situation. And I can sit here and say to you, Allison, that if they had used txtsmarter, that situation would not have occurred because we would have had all of the data. It turns out that he did nothing that was not appropriate. It was simply by violating the rules of the bank that this person, and there was actually 2 people involved, that these people.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about that, hold on. That was not supposed to happen. Okay.
Well, we got through almost the whole time.
There we go. We got you here.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
This is what happens when you depend upon others to do your technology and you're a guy that's building a system and building a company. So my apologies.
No worries. I guess another question on the adoption. Is it adopted so that it's a better avoidance of any risk triggers? Or are you actually promoting less headcount internally to augment in a compliance program? What are the different levers you pull for adoption there?
The regulations of the different oversight agencies actually require all employees to back up all data. If an organization is using some type of a mobile product management program in MDM, then they can say what platforms can be there or not. However, if a person is using a BYOD, then the person perhaps may not have the MDM that's there. We look at it this way. If a person has nefarious intent, they could simply go to CVS or Walgreens and buy a burner phone. And there's absolutely nothing that can be done about that, except at some point the truth will come out. In the sense of a person, when we think it's 90-something% of the people that act appropriately, they're not going to have any issues with this. The world has changed. We now live in Me Too. We now live in an area where human resources has visibility to things that they never looked at before. We look at this as a protection for the company and for the employee. Because everything that you have is going to be backed up, whether you post on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, or you text message, or you send it on Slack, or you send it on WeChat or WhatsApp. Everything is going to be backed up. And if a person has not done anything wrong, then everything's going to be fine. But what people need to remember is that just in iMessage alone, there are 6 trillion messages a day. And nobody's going to go through your message from your significant other saying, hey, bring home milk or pick up eggs or any of those things. Nobody cares. And the way we built the system, it requires multiple levels of approval in order to gain access to the data. So your person that is in the IT department, because he wants to see what a person did over the weekend, won't be able to access the data because they won't have the authority. So everything is completely encrypted. Everything is actually double encrypted, and it is not accessible to anybody without the encryption keys.
No. Thank you. Rich, you got one more short question? Well, it's not the question, it's the answer. I guess it'll have to be short.
Nori, just a quick question. You, I love you.
I think we've lost your audio. You are officially out. But see, Neri, Richard did that on purpose just so you wouldn't feel so bad about your audio issues.
Well, I apologize, everybody. It was kind of an unexpected thing, and the things changed a little bit this morning, but we adapt to change because that's who we are.
Exactly. No, this was great. Thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.